Alrighty, everybody, welcome back to Elite Raceway, back to our channel. We are here with our Gnosis Division 1 group after a really good Tier 2 race. Very interesting session we had there. And yeah, Guardians, yeah, if you you're welcome to join in if you like. It is a small group. We do have a couple drivers who aren't able to join in. Lots of drivers who are afraid of Baku, I guess. But understandably, we did see Mamu become a victim of one of the corners and unfortunately having to retire from the session, forced to retire. But Guardian saying Tier 2 race went bad enough for him. Yeah, 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 at least, if I'm not mistaken, you still survived. Yeah, so we are supposed to be having two more drivers join in. Alex, I believe, may have fallen asleep. Uh, let's take a quick look. I think Apex Agent having quite a bit of difficulty joining in as well. And yeah, Guardian saying he had to pit and change two wings later. Yeah, no, it's not an easy track. Big respects to these drivers who are able to race with no assist. Tier two, our Division 2 on Wednesday does have quite a few checked in. I believe only one driver is out for that division. I'll take a quick look. Actually, no, nobody has declined yet. So we do have more than 12 drivers signed up for that uh, for Division 2 on Wednesday. It is going to be a 35% race due to the numbers, so we will be doing 18 laps instead of 26, if I'm not mistaken, which would be for the 50%. Well, let's see. We do have our Manson, our first driver, going to cross the line, puts in a 142.5. Right behind him, it does look like we do have Kema. So regarding our standings for the race, we do have. Let's take a quick look. We do have MK7 Hitch, who is leading the driver standings at the moment, has a total of. Take a quick look. Of 227 points. Right behind him is MacT with 215 points. However, MacT, as you can see, is unable to join in today. I think he's stuck at work. But in third, we do have the Alpine of Kema KTD with 207 points. So only 20 points away from MK7 Hitch. It is Baku, anything can happen. And we do have Kema who had crossed the line, had put in a 140.1, so that puts him in provisional pole. Ricky Stanicki, plenty of battery to use on the DRS straight, is about to cross the line and is going to put in a 142.9. And we do have his teammate right behind in the Kick Sauber, the Yuppie, who it seems like is going to be going back into the pits. And unfortunately, as we mentioned before, Mamu unable to put in a lap time. And actually, looks like Modern Chicken is going to be joining in, so I'll send him an invite. And unfortunately for him, I have to go through the whole list. And I think I have too many people on it. And watch him not even be on this page. Let's see. I believe he's under the Modern Chicken or Modern Chicken, so I have to go to M. Ah, there we go. The Modern Chicken. There we go. So that would be 9 drivers. I don't think Apex is able to join in. There has been a lot of issues with yeah, as you can see, the communicating with online servers. And I think a lot of drivers as well, Apex having trouble as well connecting in. So yeah, unfortunately, even with the update, still a couple of EA errors. But yeah, let's see. We do have Dragon Pengus who is about to set his lap. finishing up in Sector 2. And that is Modern Chicken who has joined in. Alrighty, so Dragon Pengus about to start his lap. We'll keep an eye on him. So regarding the Constructors Championship, we do have the McLarens of Dragon Pengus and Mac T leading the Constructors with a total of 257 points. Right behind him, or behind them, we do have the Alpine with 242 points. Racing Bulls tied with 242 points as well. So these three teams are actually, you know what? Ferrari is even in the battle as well. Only a point away from Racing Bulls with 241 points. So all four teams in the front, with only one driver to really defend the team. So it's not only a battle on the driver standings, but it seems as well on the constructors. But we do have Dragon Pengus going through the trickiest part of the track, which is the castle. And turning in a little bit too early and unfortunately invalidating. So Dragon Pengus is going to have to go around again to set a time, but we do have, it's going to be, it seems, Andy who is going to be putting a lap first. He does have Armanton as well right behind him, going to set currently on his out lap. So as we mentioned before, not an easy track. So big talent from a lot of these drivers who are able to do it with no assists. Alrighty, so keeping an eye on Andy here in Sector 1, starting his lap. Turn to a very tricky corner. Does have to make sure he keeps it nice and tight and is able to have a really nice exit right there. A very difficult part of the track to really make an overtake. If you try on the inside, you'll definitely drift wide and possibly turn the car right next to you into the wall. But Andy doing a really, really good job to keep it really close. Is going to be finishing up Sector 1. And is actually up 6/10, so quite enough to really make a difference here on the final qualifying minutes. But and it looks like we did have the kickstabber of the Yuppie who puts himself in second at the moment with a 140.5, so 4/10 away from Kemma. Alrighty, so Andy with plenty of battery to use, and I'm still trying to see if Apex needs another invite. He was having trouble, as you mentioned before, joining into the session, but Andy, keeping an eye on him, is going to cross the line, puts in a 140.3, 2/10 away from Kemma, able to surpass the Yuppie. And we do have Modern Chicken. So four drivers who have yet to put in a time. Modern Chicken seems like he is going to be the first one. Lucky for Mamu, it is a small grid, so even if he is starting in the back, that just means a possible driver of the day challenge for him, yeah? And yeah, it looks like Oh, Modern Chicken going a little bit too wide right there. I do wonder if he picked up any damage, but as that happened, Kemma with a 139.8. Looks like Modern Chicken has put in a purple second sector. And so Modern Chicken crossing the line puts in a 140.3, so very close to Andy. And I do want to see if Apex is able to join in. He is going to restart his game. Alrighty, so we do have. Oh, I think that was Dragon Pengus who touched the wall a little bit too much there, but still keeping the car intact. And looks like, yeah, Scargo wanting to join in. Yeah, I'll send you an invite if you'd like. We do have a couple minutes left in the qualifying session. Don't see you online yet. And lucky for Escargo, we do have the Alpine available for him if he wants to represent the Alpine team with his new rig. But Dragon Pengus crossing the line puts in a 142.4, pushes himself up to 6. MK7 Hitch, we'll keep an eye on him since he is our leader of the championship at the moment. So as we mentioned before, it is a battle between MK7 Hitch and Kemma for the championship. And Mekti as well, who unfortunately isn't here today. But MK7 Hitch, plenty of battery still on the in the car. And so MK7 Hitch going to cross the line puts in a 140.1. So Kemma still holding on to the pole position at the moment. Let me see if Escargo is actually able to. Actually, yeah, it looks like he has logged in. Not sure if PO2 is going to join in. However, it would actually benefit his team if he did, but eh. Oh, oh man, Kemma! Oh, sorry, FK7 Hitch! Oof, I caught that right on time and unfortunately forced to retire. And here's hoping that doesn't happen in the actual race. Jeez, a heavy hit. And done in the Ferrari as well, jeez. As long as it wasn't in the castle, then we would have had a I am stupid moment. A Leclerc moment. Well, looks like Dragon Pengus is going to be going back into the pits. Ooh, that, I will say no racing line going back into the pits. They do have to be a tad bit careful there. But we do have the two Kick Saubers, the Yuppie and Armanton. Looks like they are going to be starting their lap soon. Kemma, a couple corners right behind them. And Ricky Stanicki as well on his outlap. And so it looks like Dragon Pengus is okay with that time. And I see you, Scargo. I'll send you an invite. Yep. Alrighty, but keep an eye on the Yuppie while we wait for Escargo to join in. So So in sector one has that very, very tough 90-degree left corner right there. Does that really nicely. And so the Yuppie finishing up sector one, he is actually up a tenth on his time. Still plenty of track to really improve. He is only away by 2/10 from the modern chicken. And from Andy as well. So you have to be very cautious on sector 2 around the castle. Kissing the wall just a little bit right there, but still keeping at it. And yeah, it looks like Apex is just unfortunately not able to join in. We do blame EA. EA has been a little bit, yeah, or has always been a bit of a pain, but the Yuppie finishing up in sector 3 on the main straight. And so the Yuppie with a 140.3, so improving enough to get past Andy. And let's take a look at Kemma. Kemma up a tenth. Or actually up 3/10 on his time. So Kemma definitely securing a pole position here. MK7 Hitch unfortunately retiring after that incident into the wall, but Kemma crossing the line does get pole position. We'll take a look at what his time was, but I will remind them not to ready up while that goes. Alrighty, so we do have Kemma starting on pole position with a 139.4. MK7 Hitch right behind him, or actually right next to him in the first row. In the second row, we have the Yuppie and Andy. Third row, Modern Chicken and R. Manson. Fourth row, Ricky Stenicki, Dragon Pangus. And fifth row, Mamu. And most likely Escargo, who has just joined into the session. So that is our starting grid. So let me just take a quick look at the Discord chat just to make sure all the drivers are aware not to ready up. Though a lot of these drivers are professionals in this league, veterans. And Ricky Stanicki saying he qualified in the top 10. Yep, yeah. Well, a phenomenal job. Oh, man. Alrighty, so Kema does have the permissions to ready up in a few after giving the drivers a couple of minutes to really secure their strategies and their fuel. But we did see quite a variety of strategy calls. Tier 1 and 2 did have a safety car. It is a small group, however, or actually, let me just take a quick look at something. Yeah, it is a small group. However, you never know. Safety car. We did see a couple of incidents happen during the qualifying session, so you never know if that might bring out a safety car. Yeah, it looks like a lot of drivers don't like Baku. We've had good attendance until today. They saw Baku and they said, nope. A big swerve to the left. And just a reminder, we do not have formation lap on for this group. They will be diving straight into the race, as we always like to mention, especially for our new viewers. So it's very important for these drivers to really be conscious on the first lap, especially the first two corners. It's pack is going to be super close together, and you just have to make sure you brake earlier. But our Madsen saying he's going to take out 4 laps of fuel, being optimistic. So it looks like he's really trusting that there's not going to be a safety car. Alrighty, so there are a couple seconds left for before Kemma readies up the grid. I will take away the list. So that way, if in case any of the drivers make any final changes, then they keep it a surprise on the track for those who are on the grid and are watching the race. But here's hoping the game doesn't kick me out. It was kicking me out in Tier 2, but typical EA, I guess, because my internet is good. And yep, Guardians, thank you for that. I was answering back to an important Discord message. But yes, anyways, looking back into the start of the race, we do have Kemma, who has remained in the front. Top three drivers starting on the medium tires. Only three drivers having started on the hard compounds. That is Liuppie, Andy, and R. Manson. Take a look at the position changes. So Modern Chicken, oh, it looks like Apex was able to join into the session. Unfortunately, too late. I know he was struggling this whole 30 minutes trying to really connect the into the servers. So very unfortunate for Apex. Hopefully next race he's able to join in easily. But Kemma remaining ahead, and let's take a look at the compounds. So DRS is enabled now. MK7 Hitch remaining right on the back of Kemma. We do have two drivers pitting in the back. We did see a little bit of contact between those two, Armanton and Escargo. But MK7 Hitch getting the move done on Kemma, and Modern Chicken closing in right behind as well. And a little bit of a wall bump right there. All the drivers having to be really careful on this track. And yeah, Apex, I saw, yeah, and of course now it works. Once the race had already started. But Modern Chicken, is he going to make a move on the inside here? No, it's going to stay right behind of Kemma. Lots of these drivers actually being really risky, keeping the wheel super close to the walls. I will say that. Jeez. So it looks like MK7 Hitch trying to extend that gap away from Kemma. We do have Andy, it seems, on the back of the Yuppie as well. So Kemma still within the DRS of MK7 Hitch. So both the drivers are going to get the DRS. However, it looks like Modern Chicken with the better straight line speed goes to make the overtake, and a little bit of a lock up from Modern Chicken, but makes the move stick. He is going to get the DRS off of MK7 Hitch now. So is he going to be able to make another move? It looks like not enough battery to really close in. So we do have Dragon Pengus on the back of Andy now, has caught up to them. So I will say, even for a small grid, they're doing really well to stay close with each other. And oh, it did sound like a little bit of a wall bump from from I think Dragon Pengus right behind. But looking up ahead, Modern Chicken still holding on to the back of MK7 Hitch. Looks like they have extended a bit of a gap from Kemma, although it looks like Kemma still remaining there actually. And oh, Modern Chicken might have missed his breaking point right there. And Kemma's gonna go right on through. So Modern Chicken losing out a position from that mistake, it seems. Looks like right behind Andy on the back of the kick salver of the Yuppie. Has used the majority of his ERS there, but is able to make the move stick. Is the Yuppie going to try defending that? Nope. It's going to stay right behind of Andy, up ahead. Looks like MK7 Hitch still remaining ahead of Kemma, even with the DRS from that Kemma has. So looking back at the position changes, we do have the Modern Chicken up 2 positions, Dragon Pengus as well. The Yuppie losing out a little bit with 2 positions. Armanton as well. The Kick Sour is having a little bit of a or getting eaten up a little bit. Well, let's see. Up ahead, Kemma. The top 3 still remaining within the DRS of each other. I did say Mamu could probably go for a driver of the day if he can. He's starting from the back. Well, MK7 Hitch really managing that battery. Kemma having used the grand majority of it. Doesn't look like he's going to try making a move now. However, in the back, I think Mamu closing in on the back of the Mercedes of Ricky Stanicki. Up ahead, the Yuppie getting the overtake on Andy as well. And so Andy is going to get the DRS here on this straight. I believe up ahead, Kemma as well. However, doesn't look like any move yet. And Mamu actually pushing out Ricky Stanicki. So has extended the gap to a second, 1.3 seconds. And so far, as of yet, no penalties from either drivers here. Oh, Modern Chicken touching the wall a little bit there. Doesn't seem like it was a heavy hit enough to pick up any damage, so still remaining close behind the front runners. And I think with all that DRS, they've actually extended the gap to 6 seconds ahead of the Yuppie. And it does seem like that is yellow flags in Sector 1. Seems that is the McLaren of Escargo, who may have gone over into the runoff there. But Kemma now closing in on the back of MK7 Hitch. Is he going to make a move on the inside? Looks like he is. MK7 Hitch trying to defend a little bit there. Oh, and quite a bit of a bump into the wall. Is he missing his... Yeah, looks like he is missing his right end plate. And seems like Modern Chicken is able to make the move as well on Kemma. I will say MK7 Hitch is going to get that crazy straight line speed though with that wing damage. But it looks like up ahead, Andy getting the move done on the Yuppie. The Yuppie looking for the switchback. Looks like Andy's going to get to be defending that position, remains ahead. And now Escargo picking up a 3-second penalty now. So our first set of penalties there. I am saying with this small group, I do hope that means we won't be getting so many reports for any incidents. Well, let's see. MK7 Hitch, even with that wing damage, really holding on to the back of Kemma and remaining within the DRS. So like I mentioned, he is going to have mega straight line speed. And Kemma having used the Grand, well, actually both of the front two having used a majority of their battery. Looks like up behind the Yuppie getting past Andy. And it seems like a little battle between Modern Chicken and Kemma as well. Escargo seems like has retired from the session, and it seems like that is going to be a safety car. And honestly, a really good job from Kemma staying ahead of Modern Chicken there on that overtake. So that helps him to keep the position, and it seems like Escargo is having a little bit of trouble with his pedals, it seems. So hopefully he's able to get that fixed, especially for Wednesday, since that is his division group. I know he was reserving for today, which we do appreciate. And honestly helps MK7 Hitch a lot as well, who has picked up that damage. He is going to spend a couple seconds in the pits. However, better to get that fixed now under the safety car than during a race where the drivers just get away from you. And it actually helps out Mamu and Armanson as well, catching up to the grid. The drivers having to be cautious going into the pits. And I believe it's going to be quite a bit of a gap between MK7 Hitch and the Yuppie. So MK7 Hitch might not get so affected by the time wasted in the for changing the pits. Sorry, for changing the wing. Although that was quite of a bit of that was actually quite a long wait. I don't think he picked up any penalty. That's just they changed it after quite a bit of time. So he is going to actually come out in fifth, right behind of the Yuppie and Andy. So he only loses 2 positions. However, MK7 Hitch with the hard compounds, the Yuppie and Andy with mediums. So 10 laps remaining, and we do know how high the tire wear is on this game. And Escargo apologizing for disrupting the race. Honestly, in my opinion, I do like safety cars. I don't like the way they're brought out. However, it does help to bring the grid, the field back together. For example, our Manson, our Kick Sauber, all the way in Sector 1 is going to have a chance to come around and join back with the pack. However, still a reminder for this group, as well as what I told Tier 2, just make sure to keep the safety car restart clean. Uh, we do know how much adrenaline runs in the safety car restarts, so I please beg you to keep it cautious, especially with those cold tires. Too, yeah, that race was divided in like 3 parts. Alrighty, so safety car is in this lap. We do have Kema leading the group. So he is going to give the safety car plenty of time to return back into the pits. And I am curious to see how the Yuppie and Andy are going to be able to use those mediums to their advantage. We are halfway through the race, 9 laps remaining, including this one. And it seems like Kema has set off and remains ahead. Any movement happening in the back, it does seem like we do have MK7 Hitch, who is... Ooh, Kema now picking up a 3-second penalty. I do wonder what corner he was able to cut there, but Modern Chicken getting the overtake done. So DRS is not enabled yet. Kema do have to be careful with the dirty air a bit there. But Modern Chicken trying to defend the inside line, does well to do so, remains ahead, and let's see, any movement happening in the back. It looks like everybody remaining right behind each other. So Kema, with those 3 seconds of penalties, it is going to hurt him at the end. And just a huge reminder, ghosting is disabled on this in this division, so any incident happening in the castle, I do hope it doesn't happen, because if you're stuck there, then geez, that is going to cause a chain reaction. Jeez. Alrighty, so DRS is going to be enabled on the next lap. So all the drivers keeping it in a well, what could be a DRS train. Everybody less than a second right behind of each other. Giant Pengus actually losing a little bit of time. Mamu pushing him out over a second. But right ahead, Kema closing in on Modern Chicken. Not enough battery to really use for an overtake. However, ooh, it does seem like Ricky Stanicki has picked up a 3-second penalty as well. So Modern Chicken remaining ahead. Kema not able to really do much even with the DRS. MK7 Hitch probably waiting for the mediums of Yuppie and Andy's to die out closer to the end of the race. However, keeping it really close right behind. And again, he does have Kema with the 3-second penalty, so if he stays really close to the back of him, then he can end up in a position higher than Kema, unless Kema can appeal it, of course. But championship points would be looking really nice for MK7 Hitch here in this race. But oh, that is Kema who has. Oh man, and he has to be really careful. He does well to make sure all the drivers are able to get past, especially with ghosting disabled. But oh no, Kema losing out there, and I don't think that has brought out a safety car, but it does seem like he has damaged his wing, and just very unfortunate for Kema there. We do have all the drivers under the virtual safety car, and they do have to make sure to keep it within the delta. You don't want to pick up a drive-through penalty. I will say, Kema, if you don't retire, you could try going for the fastest lap. Try stealing that away from, I believe, who has it? MK7 Hitch has it. And as we mentioned, there are 3 laps remaining. Sorry, 3 tracks remaining, 3 rounds of ERA week racing after this race. So you never know, all points can matter. Honestly, the first time I think I've ever seen Kema really make a mistake like that. So we do have the Yuppie and Andy, who, if I'm not mistaken, have not yet been on a podium this this season. We do have MK7 Hitch right on their tail. And I actually do want to know if that is actually a fact if they haven't. So looking at Andy, no, he hasn't landed on a podium. He's been close on the first week. Sorry, the second week, he was actually in 4th position, so he was close to a podium. The Yuppie, who highest position he has finished is 5th. So yeah, neither of these 2 drivers have been able to put their car in the podium. And looks like up behind, Dragon Pengus getting the move done on Ricky Stanicki. MK7 Hitch still holding on to the DRS of Andy. Andy pushing him out quite a bit, a little bit right there. Looks like Andy has been using his battery. Up ahead, Modern Chicken still remaining ahead. 1.8 seconds ahead of the Yuppie now. So 5 laps remaining, including this one, and let's just take a quick look at the position changes again. So Modern Chicken up 4 positions, Mamu up 4 positions as well. So like I said, Mamu can definitely go for the driver of the day challenge today. And so it looks like the Yuppie has pushed out, it seems, Andy from the DRS. We'll actually keep an eye on that because Andy has closed in a little bit there. And so yeah, it looks like Andy is going to get the DRS from the Yuppie, so hopefully enough to defend from MK7 Hitch, who's trailing right behind them. And the Modern Chicken picking up the fastest lap at 142.5. Does seem like that is Kemma struggling a little bit there. And has... Oh my gosh. Is pulling the Voldemort look, so that is a safety car. And it seems like that was the same corner he had actually lost out in the beginning as well. So with 9 drivers, it's 2 safety cars. 10 drivers, 2 safety cars. So they do. Looks like Kemma is still under the Delta. Has to make sure not to pick up any drive-through penalty there. Looks like he is able to get past the safety car and up ahead. So 4 laps remaining. Most likely a lot of these drivers are going to opt for pitting for the softs. And Ricky Stanicki now pick up a 3-second penalty. So that is 6 seconds in total for Ricky Stanicki. Kemma 3 seconds there. And yeah, it looks like Modern Chick. Oh no, Kemma picking up a drive-through penalty. So this has obviously not been his best race of the season. It's such a rare thing to see Kemma in this position. He has not yet retired from a race, so if he's able to hold out and still finish, then I mean, big respects to him. Jeez. Looks like Baku's definitely not a favorite for many drivers. Jeez. But we did have quite a few drivers opt to pit. That is My Chicken, the Yuppie, MK7 Hitch, and Mamu on the soft tires. We do have the top 3 who have chosen to stay out. That is Andy, Dragon Pengus, and our Manson. So it is a big responsibility for the drivers on the fresher tires to really keep it safe on the safety car restart, as I mentioned earlier, to not be so desperate to make the pass. Especially since we know, drivers like Modern Chick and MK7 Hitch, they have the pace. They definitely have the pace. Alrighty, so the safety car is most likely going to go around for one more lap while we wait for Kemma to catch up. Unfortunately, as we mentioned before, he does have that drive-through penalty. And it looks like he has actually opted to not change the wing. So he's going to have to go for two. Well, actually, you know what? We'll see how he does. We'll see what his plan is. He's gonna have some mega straight line speed though. Jeez. But it does seem like we are going to have two laps of racing here at the end of this Baku Grand Prix. I'm curious to know how he goes through the castle with that damage. Gee. So the front three going to have to put in a mega defense against those drivers behind them with the soft tires, the fresh tires. Safety car is going to be going in this lap as we predicted, and Andy leading the safety car restart at the moment. So it's going to give the safety car enough time to join back into the pits. Dragon Peg is very close to the back of Andy, so has to make sure to give him, or all the drivers to give each other space. And it does seem like Andy has actually set off right before the straight, and so Andy's staying ahead. And we do have Modern Chicken, it seems, trying to use that battery, trying to close in on our Manson there. So as we mentioned, as we can see, the Modern Chicken, the Yuppie, MK7 Hitch, and Mamu with the soft, fresh tires. And Modern Chicken actually getting the move done on our Manson. And oh, Dragon Pengus, it seems like he went a little bit too wide right there into the wall. So Modern Chicken gaining two positions there. The Yuppie trying to make a move on his teammate R. Manson. And oh, that is contact between Modern Chicken and Dragon Pengus. And that is a retirement for forced on Modern Chicken. Not exactly sure what happened while we were taking a look at the two Kick Saubers, but that seemed like it might have been Dragon Pengus possibly going into some Modern Chicken. He was on the older tires. We'll just have to take a look at that afterwards, but just very unfortunate for them. Our Manson still defending for Mamu. So yeah, we'll have to take a look at what happened there afterwards. But Mamu trying to get the move done on our Manson. Mamu does have the fresher tires. And Andy remaining ahead, 1.3 seconds ahead of Andy. And MK7 Hitch trying to get the hunt on the Yuppie as well. Has used up a grand majority of his battery there. Looks like Mamu is going to be the driver to make the overtake done on our Manson there. MK7 Hitch looking to make a move, not yet. The Yuppie does get the DRS from Andy. And MK7 Hitch, yeah, has used up pretty much all his battery at the moment, but we all know how no assist is. You can regain it quite quickly. So I believe it's going to be a battle at the end on the final main straight. So it looks like no penalties in the front to make any difference. So we are going to keep a track of these three. Andy's still remaining ahead. Although the Yuppie is going to get the DRS off of Andy here. MK7 Hitch the DRS off of the Yuppie. So who is going... I feel like this is going to be a final line battle here. MK7 Hitch using all the battery he can. The Yuppie is going to get past Andy. And it looks like MK7 Hitch is going to get past Andy as well. MK7 Hitch, not enough battery to get any overtake done on the Yuppie. And so the Yuppie is going to get his first ever win here in ERA, if I'm not mistaken. Ricky Stanicki getting past the kickstabber of our Manson here. I was having my dinner earlier, jeez. And Kema closing in on Dragon Pangus. I believe he does have that broken wing. He does have the drive-through penalty, although I do wonder if it's going to turn into a 20 seconds. So that is usually how the drive-through penalties are served in the final laps for the races. But yeah, that was a heck of a race. I would be surprised. I am surprised actually by how much action there was, even with 9 drivers there. But let's see, driver of the day, it is Mamu, who has picked up driver of the day, having started from ninth on the grid up to fourth. So going over our final podium here, we do have the Yuppie on his first ever win, if I'm not mistaken, here with the RA, and I believe, big respects to him. I know it's been a long time overdue, yeah. But that's what happens when you're consistent, when you attend the races. So sharing the podium, we do have MK7 Hitch on second, and in third, we do have Andy V077. So that is our podium for Baku. The Yuppie, a heck of a win on a very tough track. But we do have from fourth to the end Mamu, Armanson, Ricky Stanicki, Dragon Pangus, Kema, Modern Chicken, who did the NF on the last couple laps, but it is going to count. Also picking up the fastest lap at 142.5, and our only DNF Escargo. So yeah, very very good race from a majority of these drivers. As we like to remind them, of course, send your reports. We'll look at any incidences. I think Kema, a lot of those incidences were self-inflicted, but honestly, a really good race from these drivers. We are going to have a Labor Day weekend break next week. So we will be back in 2 weeks, and that will be in Spain. Hopefully, all the drivers like that track enough to actually attend. But anyways, thank you for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys next week. Or sorry, in 2 weeks.